Justice Department on Orange County law enforcement's use of jailhouse informants. As Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia explains, this comes years after the scandal first came to light.
He cheated.
Orange County Assistant Public Defender Scott Sanders brought the jailhouse informant scandal to the attention of the U.S. Department of Justice.
Let me go to a much greater concern even than dollars misspent. As you know, Mr. Horowitz, you know in Fast and Furious, the Obama administration willfully and deliberately broke the law and conspired to move guns that they knew went to Mexico and other criminal activities. More than 2,000 weapons were sold to straw people knowingly. Now, if anyone other than the federal government does it, that's a crime. When the federal government does it, the question is, do they track the crimes they facilitate? Where would I find a list of all the criminal activities done or facilitated by the two gentlemen to your left?
Well, the actions that were authorized, presumably by the individuals handling the informants, I don't know of a system where they're reporting that to the Congress.
So for the American people, we'll ignore the Congress for a moment since we're still waiting on documents from Fast and Furious from 7 years ago. To the internally, if the President of the United States or the Attorney General says, I want to see the list of all the criminal activities that my government did on behalf of law enforcement, things which would be crimes if not done by the government, but they are still basically crimes, selling weapons, allowing illicit drugs to be consumed, etc. Where would the Attorney General find a log in each of these two agencies for the criminal activities they facilitated?
I don't believe there is a centralized database for either organization, although I'd defer to them on this. I think you'd have to, in most instances, go file by file or in some.
Okay, so for both of you, if your agencies, through confidential informants, through sting operations, etc., are doing things which are criminal activities if done by other than the government, where is the log that says, even not central, just logs, other than maybe hidden in a record where somebody could interpret this a crime, where is the record of authorization to commit a crime in order to support justice?
Sir, if I may take that first.
Sure, please.
If I heard you right, you said earlier you reflected that crimes done by the gentleman to your left?
No,
I'm assuming your agent, persons?
No, not you personally.
Sure.
It's
I've worn a uniform for 32 years, and my honor is very important, so I wanted to make sure I correct.
Well, so was Attorney General Eric Holder, but he was held in contempt because he, in fact, withheld information related to crimes. My question is, from an organizational standpoint, if the IG doesn't know, can you tell me where somebody, yourself included, would go to see all the things which are being authorized, which would otherwise be crimes? But, you know, if somebody's...
Gentleman's time has expired. If we could answer the question real quickly, we need to move on.
Yes, sir. I can tell you, just speaking from personal experience, I was brought in ATF to help post F&F. Okay, I will hold our people accountable whenever necessary. So if you're asking,
Mr. Chairman, the only question I'm asking is there a log of some sort where people can see the combination of U.S. Attorney authorization and these agencies going forward? As you know, Mr. Chairman, in Fast and Furious, everyone pointed fingers that it was nobody's fault, that nobody authorized 2,000 guns to go to Mexico. And so the question is, when something that is being done that would be a crime if you did it is done, where can you go, where can anyone, including the Attorney General, go to see that record? And if it doesn't exist, a simple "it doesn't exist" would be fine.
I'm not aware of any such record.
Mr. Patterson, are you aware of any such record?
Electronically, no, sir, but we would have case files that would reflect traditional, buys in terms of that type of information. And then certainly on more sensitive investigations, we have a sensitive activity review committee in which all that documentation is kept. But again, it's a manual process.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is that being right with law enforcement did not make me right with God. While I was working undercover, not only was I selling drugs, large quantities of heroin and cocaine, but I was also snorting a lot of coke. That's right, getting high on my own supply. So let's pull out the laundry list. I was selling drugs. In the end, drugs kill countless of people for many reasons already spelled out. I was snorting coke like it was going out of style. I was also an ex-con who possessed several firearms, a violation of the law. I returned to the life and became a co-conspirator in a homicide. I believe that qualifies me with the dubious distinction of being a rogue informant.